I am so happy to be here and excited. Thank you so much for the warm and wonderful introduction. I cannot begin any speech at this time, though, without first acknowledging the men and women, the 49 souls that were murdered in Orlando a few days ago. And I want to say that, I personally stand with the LGBT community, the people of color community, the Muslim community, and any community or person that has ever felt targeted or marginalized. The Orlando massacre actually underscores, unfortunately, what I was going to talk about today. One of the biggest tragedies that's come out in the aftermath of the latest shooting is that people persist in this question: what is the world coming to? And I hate that question. About Chicago, usually in response to news of more shooting or other grim statistics, it has also become a common refrain: what is the city coming to? This is a question we don't have the luxury of asking. It's a question that allows us to be passive observers and victims. It's a question that allows us to feign ignorance. We know why things are the way they are. Look at our politics, look at our policies, look at our fiscal priorities, and look at our historical patterns. It's a lazy question that has us focus our efforts on escaping the problem rather than fixing it. And in case you haven't noticed, there is no escape, and there never was one. So we can decide if we are going to rhetorically ask someone else, what is the world coming to? Or if we are going to actively ask ourselves, where am I taking the world? It is in this spirit that I believe the Civic Leadership Academy was born. And through the CLA, the University of Chicago brought a group of people together who are asking just that question. And I know that because I've spent the last 6 months with you all, and you all ask that question truly and honestly and authentically every time that we're together. And CLA invested in us by giving us space, time, tools, access, coaches, advisors, I see you guys all over, and each other, so we could advance our work and that of our cohort mates. CLA provided us with big, broad ideas that helped us build a framework so we could begin articulating ways of engaging in the act of leadership. Only at the University of Chicago can you discuss data analytics with Professor Kerwin Charles and leave the lecture totally depressed because everything you thought you knew about your data was incorrect. That was for you, Simone. Theories of leadership embedded in the timeless classic, The Prince by Machiavelli, led by Professor John McCormick, or work on the art of active listening with Steve Edwards, where he taught us the 5 whys as a way to illustrate how we can begin to stop wading in the shallow waters and venture into the deeper waters and really, truly engage people. All of this woven together and given context by Professor Will Howe, a fellow Wesleyan alum, Nat Grote, and the legendary Harry Davis. I don't know where you are, Harry, if you're here, but you are legendary, and we are very excited about that. And I haven't even mentioned Delhi yet, where we arrived in the middle of a humid and smoggy night after having traveled for so many hours, not knowing just how deeply that week would transform us and fill us with gratitude, weigh us down with concerns, while also inspiring us to new ways of thinking about the issues we encounter on a daily basis. Between Chicago and Delhi, there is a sisterhood of struggle and triumph, of fortitude in the midst of weariness, of people working against seemingly intractable odds, but with a spirit that simply cannot be stopped. On a personal note, I want to thank each and every fellow. I too was given a time limit that is almost exactly the same, 5 minutes for me. I I desperately wanted to actually thank each and every person individually, but I don't have the time for that. So I'll thank you all as a group for your fierce, impassioned, tightly held beliefs, for your fearless expression of your views and your unwillingness to back down, for the countless ways in which we have come to support each other, your honesty when you didn't agree with something or someone, your perseverance and your heart. And I took this line out of my speech after reading it because I thought it was cheesy, but I'm gonna say it now, that when I look at you all, I see why Chicago is the city of big shoulders. So back to my question of where are we taking the world? In one of our last classes, John Michael Schurt taught us that if we are to engage in innovative and creative processes, we have to be willing to sit in an uncomfortable space. So right now, I would like for all of us to do something that's going to be a little uncomfortable and awkward. And I want to sit for a few moments in silence as we ask ourselves, where am I taking the world? When you turned your attention inward, what answers came to you? Did you have an idea of where you were taking the world? Or did you realize that all this time you'd been waiting around for the world or the city to come to something? As for me, I know a group of people who are taking the world and the city to some amazing places. That's right, I'm talking about the 2016 cohort of the Civic Leadership Academy. Very specifically, I again wish I could name everyone, but I picked a few colleagues. Through John's work, John Yonan, we are taking this city and county, yes, John, we're taking this city and county to a place where our roads, bridges, and critical infrastructure are being repaired and built in a more equitable way, benefiting diverse communities. Through Jen's work, we are taking this city to a place where the Pullman neighborhood becomes the example, the benchmark for just how neighborhood economic development and investment is done. Through Brandy's work, we are taking this city to a place where our capacity to deliver social services is growing by streamlining the contracting process, making it easier for nonprofits who are doing amazing work to partner with the city and serve more residents. And through both Danny and Brady's work, we are taking this city to a place where the slogan, Chicago, the city that works, represents everyone from every community and every background. These are just a few of my amazing, wonderful colleagues working every day to take our city to better places. But civic leadership and engagement is not just the domain of CLA Fellows. It's for everyone. It's for you. What do you see that needs to change? Who in our city, in your community, in the world needs your help? What's going to be better because of you? On behalf of the 2016 cohort of the Civic Leadership Academy, I ask, are you waiting to see what the city is coming to, or are you taking the city to where you know it needs to go? Thank you.